Hi everyone, Scott here from eSkilled, and today I'm going to be showing you our incredible AI-assisted assessment marking feature. This is a pretty incredible feature that will assist your assessors to mark assessments with better quality, better feedback, and get a lot more assessments done so they can spend more time assisting students rather than marking assessments. Obviously, it's a big time saver, it's a big cost saver, and helps you better support your students. So let's jump in and have a look at how it all works. So our AI-assisted marking system basically uses our AI proprietary technology, which we call 𝗖𝗘𝗢. And what 𝗖𝗘𝗢 does is assist your assessors in marking written questions, a bit like this one. This question is from the Cert for and Training Assessment. It's your typical three-part question. And in this question, the student has got the first and third parts correct, but unfortunately they've got the second part incorrect, and what they've done is put the correct steps but in the incorrect sequence. So it's a pretty nuanced question and a great one that we used early on to test how good 𝗖𝗘𝗢 is at spotting issues. So how did 𝗖𝗘𝗢 go with this? Well, first of all, I'll explain that 𝗖𝗘𝗢 does need clear benchmarks, just like your assessors need clear benchmarks. If there's a problem, concern, or issue with the benchmarks, you're going to get inconsistent judgments just the same way that you would if you gave poor, badly formed benchmarks to your assessors. So obviously, just like assessors, 𝗖𝗘𝗢 needs good benchmarks. Yeah. Now, here's the response that 𝗖𝗘𝗢 gave to that question. First of all, what 𝗖𝗘𝗢 does is he'll suggest a grade. So he suggested the grade there of not yet satisfactory, and he's also given suggested feedback. So check out the quality of this feedback. Remembering this is a Cert for and TAE question, and it says your responses in the first and third parts of the question are correct. However, for the second part, the order of the steps is not correct. Please review the order of the steps related to ensuring the scope of evidence gathered is sufficient. Consider revisiting the relevant materials to better understand the correct sequence and process involved. So the learners got really directive feedback around the steps that they need to take to correct that and get the sequence correct, and specifically go back and have a look at the scope of evidence gathered and make sure that sequence is correct. So very directive feedback. And the other cool thing that the system will do, or 𝗖𝗘𝗢 will do, is he'll provide you with the rationale or the reasons for making that assessment decision. So your assessors can quickly surmise whether that feedback and result seems correct. Now, only if they're satisfied with that the judgment is correct and they agree with that judgment would they hit accept, and then that feedback and result would be populated to the student record for that question. So literally all the assessor has to do is click accept if they agree. If they disagree, they would simply mark or grade that assessment as they normally would with, not yet satisfactory or satisfactory and their own personalized feedback. So that's how it works. One of the things that I've been really impressed with this tool is not only does it give amazing directive feedback on not yet satisfactory, but it also gives really good feedback on satisfactory responses. We all know that assessors often just don't have time to give that quality of feedback, and sometimes on not yet satisfactory or satisfactory, but typically with satisfactory responses, we often see assessors giving copy and pasted feedback like, well done, great work, good job. Students obviously get pretty tired of that and know that there's not a lot of effort going in there. So the feedback like this: great job, your answers effectively captured the key elements of the moderation session, aligning well to the task requirements. You clearly identified the purpose, focus, and context of the session, demonstrating a solid understanding of the assessment's objectives. Keep up the good work. That is super motivating. Motivating feedback like that helps students take more critical feedback when they get things wrong. So it's really important to keep students motivated and provide great feedback on positive assessments. In this new standards for RTOs, there's a greater focus on assessors providing personalized feedback for students. So this is really going to help support students and support assessors in giving better feedback. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. I should point out here that 𝗖𝗘𝗢 is not a qualified assessor. So ASQA does not recognize 𝗢𝗡 as a qualified trainer and assessor, and obviously 𝗢𝗡 is not recognized as a trainer and assessor under the standard. So it's important to understand that it is always your assessors making the judgment. They need to be happy that the judgment that they're making for that student's work is correct. 𝗢𝗡 is purely there to assist them as a second set of eyes and helping speed up the process in suggesting a response and feedback for the learner. It's up to the assessor to accept that. That's why we do have that acceptance phase for the assessor to review. But it certainly does make light work of what would typically be a much more lengthy process. So one of the unexpected consequences, I guess, or positive consequences of launching this tool and getting feedback from clients is we've found that 𝗢𝗡 is the ultimate moderator. Early days, we had clients coming back with some discrepancies saying, 𝗢𝗡 doesn't seem to agree with our assessors. And what we found is that assessors were actually deviating from the benchmark, or in 99% of those cases, the assessors were deviating from the benchmarks, or the benchmarks were poorly written, resulting in inconsistent judgments, or all of the above. So what 𝗢𝗡 was actually able to do is highlight issues either in the assessment marking decisions or in the actual benchmarks themselves, causing the assessor to make their own judgment above and beyond the benchmark, which means the benchmark actually needed to be updated. So as soon as RTOs have been implementing this tool, immediately they find they're faced with these challenges, but they're not challenges, they're things that need to be fixed, which is great because they can then fix their assessment systems, make sure they're more compliant, and reduce their risk. And it's those assessment system issues that actually are critical non-compliances for RTOs. So we found that 𝗢𝗡 is like having a second assessor on every single assessment. It's like every single assessment gets that second set of eyes, and it's like having a moderator on every assessment. So incredible for assistance, giving better feedback, faster marking, grading, and improving the risk profile of RTOs to ensure that they're always making good assessment judgments. So in conclusion, 𝗢𝗡 helps your assessors give better feedback, make more consistent judgments, get more assessments marked faster so they can spend more time supporting your learners. It really is an incredible tool, and I reckon you should check it out. If you want to have a tour or see 𝗢𝗡 and our AI-assisted marking in action, just go to our website, 𝗔𝗜l.com.au. Follow your nose through to our LMS and SMS site where you can just book a demo there, and we will love to show you our AI grading and all the other incredible features that you get with our student and learning management system. eSkilled really is on the cutting edge and moving and shaking, and if you haven't seen our systems yet, now's a chance to jump in, have a look, and see what we can do for your RTO. Thanks for your time, and we look forward to showing you some cool new features of eSkilled in the not too distant future.